Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with the R Holistic Killer, aka Sonia B. I am back with 4 quick prophetic messages. If you're new to my channel, I just want to say welcome, and for those of you who are returning back, I want to say welcome back. For those of you who do not know, I am a clairvoyant yoga empath who receives divine prophetic dream messages. And I will say this too, because I haven't noticed this, but I've always received messages through music. I've been noticing that ever since probably like about maybe the last year and a half. I've been noticing that. Also is another spiritual gift as well too, but I've been noticing certain types of music that has been coming up lately too. So if you guys hear me talking about or coming on and giving an intuitive message, that's because a song has just been, placed. It's like a radio in my head in a sense, and it's almost like divine spirit of light is tuning me to that frequency or whatever that song is that kind of lets me know what's going on with the collectives. So if you hear me coming on or posting a video and I'm mentioning that it's an intuitive video, that's basically me getting an intuitive hit that the divine spirit of light is basically placing something down in my spirit, other than me having a prophetic dream message. Just wanted you guys to be clear on that so that way you knew. But anyway, if you would like to receive updated videos when I do upload them, feel free to click that subscription button. I don't know why I feel like I'm talking like a robot almost. Feel free to click that subscription button, probably because I just got finished waking up not too long ago, so my brain is probably still trying to catch up. It was a little relaxed, but anyway. But no, I was up early. It's just I went and took a nap. But anyway, so feel free to click the subscription button. That way you don't miss the video. Just keep in mind that these prophetic messages and these intuitive messages come up basically for you guys to kind of like help lead and guide you, and kind of, it's almost like the spiritual 411 of what's going on, what's taking place. So if you want to know what's going on, just with some of you guys, or what may be coming in for some of you guys, if the message resonate, but most likely if you guys are clicking on my channel, obviously it's a message there that's for you, that you would be divinely guided to come to my channel to watch. Obviously that's going to help you with your situation at hand. So anyway, let's move on. So no, I didn't hear any messages just yet through music today, because I didn't go get in my car. Well, no, it's not about me getting in my car, because sometimes I hear it just when I'm walking or just when I'm doing something, I just hear it playing. But sometimes it speaks to me too through the radio as well too. But anyway, let me get into the message. So some of you guys may be, oh my God, like seriously, some of you guys may be, you may start to find yourself doing something different, like going to ride bikes is what I saw. Because I saw like 2 individuals. Well, actually, they weren't riding together. I kind of felt like these were 2 different people, but I felt like someone was kind of like, I don't know if I want to say nitpicking or just kind of making a comment about the people riding the bike. So I say all that to say, if you guys should just so happen to get in the habit of riding a bike, and if you hear somebody kind of making a comment, you may hear somebody making a comment. Thank you, Spirit. You may hear somebody making a comment. Just kind of try to go along about your business or whatever the case may be, and just kind of try to ignore it or whatever. Because I felt like they were kind of like, I don't want to say necessarily nitpicking, but it was a way to test you in a sense, to see if you were going to get like a little discouraged, because maybe, riding a bike for you as an adult may feel a little funny, may feel a little weird. You haven't done it in so long, or you just decided to purchase a bike to do something different. And then all of a sudden when you get on a bike, it's almost like somebody's making a comment. So, just know that I feel like it's coming in a form of a test, just to see whether you're going to continue to ride the bike, or you're going to allow somebody to just kind of like allow somebody to sidetrack you or distract you from riding a bike almost. It's almost like when you're like in school in a sense, and somebody says something about you, or let's just say your shoes, and then they're saying something about your shoes, and then all of a sudden you go throughout the rest of the school day and you're trying to hide your shoes, or it's a situation of you don't wear those shoes to school anymore, all because somebody said something about it. Thank you, Spirit. Because somebody said something about the shoes. So just know that, again, it's coming in the form of a test, just to test you to see whether, just because somebody make one little comment, are you going to stop doing what it is that you enjoy doing. What I'm hearing is, it's almost, what I'm hearing is, because excuse me, I already said that it's coming in the form of a test. So in other words, it's almost like, yeah, God just wants to know if you're going to be true to you, in other words, is what I'm hearing. Thank you, Spirit. God just wants to know, are you going to be true to you? In other words, are you going to care what somebody else think? Are you just going to go on living your life? Are you going to let people deter, if I'm saying that right, deter you off your path, in a sense, or, reroute you off of your path? What you decided that you wanted to do, so if riding bikes is fun for you and is joyful, and it makes you happy and it puts you back in your childlike state, by all means ride your bike. But again, just know that you're going to be tested in the process. But remember, it's a test. Divine Spirit of Light wants you to stay true to you. But I saw this happening because I kind of saw this individual like doing it to like two people, but I felt like they weren't together, but I felt like it was two different times. So in other words, or what I'm hearing too, is that you could see this individual maybe two times doing this same exact thing, is what Spirit just kind of brought to my attention as well too. So whether it's two of you guys riding a bike together, or whether it's coming in the form that you're seeing this individual twice saying the same thing, maybe twice again, again, and just because it came twice, you have to discern this is where, just because something happens twice or happened three times, you have to be discern whether it's the universe trying to give you a sign of, or whether the enemy is trying to kind of like nitpick at you, aggravate you, or whatever the case may be. Just, yeah, because I know we get different type signs, and I know it makes us kind of question ourselves in some sort of way. I know it makes us kind of, I know it has made me in the past like question myself in some sort of way, until I actually started learning to pay, more attention to just like the little synchronicities that, that Spirit gives me. So yeah, but anyway, keep that in mind. Let's move on to the next message. So the next message came in the form of some of you guys, your teenage kids, if they're like using your car, if they have a car, you might want to watch that, because I saw it as if maybe they're parking their cars like a little close from the curve, and this is more like a parallel type parking. I'm sorry, y'all, because I be jacking up certain words just with my pronunciation. One, because it's Georgia. Two, is probably some of the dyslexia. And three is just sometimes I just really don't really care, to be honest with you, like just trying to be politically correct when pronouncing things, because I just feel like society has put this label on us all for us. Be politically correct, do this correct, do that correct, and I'm not saying that certain things that we shouldn't do correct, but we shouldn't be so programmed to the things that society has, societies or maybe our families, has taught us growing up. Oh, do this, do that, do this. Everything is so programmed, rather than people just allowing them to be their own individual selves. If you think about from the time that you're a child growing all the way up, we've been so programmed rather than just really enjoying our lives and just kind of going with the flow of things, and just, just not caring what other people think in a matter of, but yeah, just living your life, because of all those programs, it's kind of prevented us from living our life in a sense, because we too cautious about, certain things, when we're doing it. Now, granted, there's a balance between the two, because, there's a balance. I'm not going to get into that, but there's a balance. Anyway. So I'm sorry. So yeah, so be mindful of that. Like I said, I saw somebody like parallel parking their car, but the car was kind of out in the road a little bit, and it was almost like the first thing that came to me when I was waking up from the dream is that individual needs to be careful, because that car can be like out in the street a little bit, because they're not closer to the curb or to the sidewalk. So therefore, a car could easily come past and side swipe it, just because it's protruding out more than the rest of the cars or whatever. But I did see somebody's parent kind of going out there, and thank you, Spirit. I did see somebody's parent kind of going out there and taking note of that and moving the car. So I don't know who this message is for, but I did see somebody kind of going to move the car, whatever the case may be. But I also did see like their keys were kind of like in the car too. So I don't know if there's like an extra spare keys that they had in the car, because I felt like the child was inside the house, but they also had like the remote control in their hand. So just be mindful of that too, because I remember like just seeing this individual kind of like going to move either the child's car or move their car because the child had used the car. But I saw somebody kind of walking past and kind of like, as the car door was open, but the keys were kind of dangling like near the little part where you pull the door handle, where you pull it close at. And I saw somebody kind of walking past as they was walking up the street, but their eyes kind of made contact with what was going on. I didn't get the fact that they were threatening or they were plotting anything, but their eyes just made contact with, while the car door was open, the keys in the car. So just, be mindful of that too, because if that person was noticing, just think about who else may be kind of noticing, but don't necessarily have the right intention, excuse me. But anyway, so yes, watch the car close to the curb. I mean, not close to the curb, but just make sure it's not protruding out in the road to keep it from being sideswiped by another vehicle. And watch those keys and make sure, I guess, they're not leaving their keys in the car or whatever the case may be, or extra spare keys in the car. Anyway, so the next dream that I had saw, okay, now we're all adults here, but I'm just telling you what I saw. So in this dream, I saw it as if someone had actually kind of like, they kind of took their hands up and cuffed, someone's breast in a sense like this. But what I had gotten from that was like, this person, the feeling that I had gotten from this person was like they really wanted, and for me, I had already knew that in a dream, like when I was dreaming this, I had already saw that in the dream, it was already telling me that, the whole breast thing, just clutching the breast or whatever the case may be, it was about nurturing. I knew that already. So I say all that to say that somebody is desiring to be nurtured. And let me pull this. I got the feeling that somebody was definitely desire being nurturing, but I'm also hearing, thank you, Spirit. I'm also hearing like, it's almost like they desire to be nurtured, but at the same time, it's like they don't, excuse me. But it's almost at the same time like they don't want somebody to know that they want to nurture somebody in a sense. So it's almost like they're not being true to themselves. So in other words, thank you, Spirit. What I'm hearing is almost like you're worried about what somebody else is thinking, in other words. So I say all that to say, again, just like the person riding a bike, things are going to come into test for you as well, too. Like, if that's what your heart desires, go after what your heart desires. If your heart desires to be nurtured by that individual that, you feel like you want to, you want to nurture you, that you want them to nurture you or whatever the case may be. Well, the only way to figure that out is by extending yourself towards that person, whoever that person may be. But I say all that to say, and express yourself. One of two things are going to happen. Either they're going to be mutual with you and they're going to be on the same page, or, they may express, and everybody has free will, they may express let me center myself. In other words, if you are someone who is desiring to be nurtured by someone, first of all, make sure you're nurturing yourself. Because what I'm hearing is you can't nurture somebody else unless you're nurturing yourself first. But two, if you have already done the nurturing yourself and you know what it means to self-love, and you are ready to share that with somebody, you don't need to hide that from people. Just be your true, authentic self. When you be your true, authentic self, so many other doors, what I'm hearing, is going to open for you. But it's not until you change your perspective on the matter is when you'll start seeing results. So as long as you stay in the mindset of saying to yourself, like, oh my God, like I really want to nurture somebody, or I want somebody to nurture me, or I just want them to be there, for me, or whatever the case may be. If that's what you desire and you feel like it's meant for you to go for it, go for it, But I say all that to say, divine spirit of light, until we acknowledge the fact of what it is that we truly want, then it's almost like you won't get what you want until you actually acknowledge it. Because what I'm hearing is like the scripture in the Bible, it says knock and the door shall be open. In other words, you got to go knocking first. If you don't knock, then how's the universe supposed to know what it is that you want? You know, there's another verse in the Bible that says, seek and ye shall find. Well, if you go looking for what it is you find, you're going to find what it is you're looking for. And what I'm also hearing Spirit say too, I know some of you guys have had various relationships throughout the last few years that has been up and down and has basically kind of wreaked havoc on you. In other words, is what I'm hearing. Thank you, Spirit. And I know you kind of question yourself, and it's I know that let me hurry this up. I know that you kind of question yourself in regards to the situation. Thank you, Spirit. I know you kind of question yourself in regards to the situation, but the truth of the matter is, you know, you have had that perspective so long that none of your relationships haven't not worked out for you. So, and that may be true because they weren't the right relationships for you. You know, God know what was for you, and He know who is for you. So if those relationships had fell by the wayside and they didn't work out, that's because they weren't meant to be there. That wasn't the person for you. But I say all that to say, if it's something that you desire, reach out and reach out. I heard Spirit say reach out and grab them by the balls or whatever the case may be. But, you know, but anyway, take a chance. But I say all that to say, let me go back to the whole nurturing thing. It was saying women's breasts represent nurturing. This is in a dream. Women's breasts symbolize nurturing and maternal love. If a man desires of breasts, if a man dreams of breasts, oh, how did I get that off? If a man dreams of breasts, it showed, are you kidding me? It shows his subconscious desire for maternal love of being taken good care of by a woman. Spiritual symbolism. The breast symbolizes the mother protection love from a spiritual point of view. Okay, so I just wanted to share that part with y'all. But anyway, so okay, and this is the last message. Let me hurry up because this battery is low. This is the last message. So some of you are going to have somebody that's going to reach out to you. What exactly they're going to tell you, I don't know. But they're going to reveal something to you. What it is, again, I can't tell you because all I just saw was them, you know, basically kind of having a conversation. I knew that they were reaching out and they was kind of trying to have a conversation. But I Divine Spirit of Light just cut that part off, like any details of what they're going to talk about. So I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. And for you guys who don't know, these messages come in a form basically just to warn you of things that are to come and allow you, because once you are aware of what's to come, it allows you to better, once the situation arises, it's almost like you making a choice of what path do I take? Do I go left or do I go right? In other words. So I'm just here just to deliver the messages, and you guys can you know, decide once it gets here of how you want it to go. I'm gonna pull these cards real quick. I don't know why, but I was drawn to this deck for some particular reason. I kept seeing a butterfly in this deck, and the butterfly was like transformation, excuse me, not transition. But I kept seeing it, so I don't know. Maybe it was just trying to show me that some of you guys are transforming your mindset, your perspective on things. Thank you, Spirit. What message do you have for the collective that you want them to know in regards to these messages that you allowed me to receive? That is of pure white light and pure unconditional love only. Stand still and happiness. Diligence. Which one came out first? Stand still, happiness, and diligence. Okay, I'm gonna read it in that order. right, standstill. A swamp is a low-lying area with woody plants, shrubs, and trees where water collects and saturates the ground. During rainy season, swamplands come overwhelmed with water. The edges of the swamp, I'm sorry, am I pulling it too close? The edges of the swamp is often a quagmire of mud and slit, but an abundance of plants and swamp insects dwell there. Because of the sticky nature of the mud, it is often impossible to walk through swampy lands. Even trying to maneuver with a boat can be difficult and treacherous because of dense vegetations. However, this is a great value of swampland that they act as natural flood controls, as runoff can be temporarily stored in their basins. They keep the land around them from washing away. Lush vegetation provides a haven for nesting birds and water flow, as well as the habitations of mammals, such as the beavers. Freshwater swamps near the triggerous and euphorics of rivers in the middle of the east and part of the fertility crescents and contributes to the fertility of the land for the earliest humans. Okay, so this card basically wants you to know if you feel that some area of your life have slowed down or even come to a standstill, you are right. Something is not progressing, even if it seems that things are flowing. Look beneath the surfaces. Perhaps something is unmovable. The first step is to becoming unstuck, is to acknowledge where you are. The soul loves the truth in the life that you can either say there are no weeds, or it can notice the weeds and begin pulling them out. Notice what isn't working in your life and then take slow, steady steps to unblocking the barriers. In nature, when one is being stuck in mud, the worst thing to do is struggle. The best thing to do is slowly and carefully, one step at a time. Take one step at a time. To extricate yourself. Anyway, so that's just like what I just said. If some of you guys really desiring love and want love, well, if you want something, it's kind of like you have to put effort into it. Like I said yesterday, the song that I was hearing was Brownstone. If you want love, then you have to show it. If you want people to prove it to you, so in other words, you have to act, you have to make an action in order to get a reaction. So standing still is not going to get you that. And the next one is diligence. Because I know myself, like my situation, I definitely had to change my mind. It was like something kept almost trying to obsessively come into my train of thought, and I definitely had to, because it's affecting us all differently in different ways. For some of us it may be something else that's on our mind, and in others, for whatever it is, we all got something going on. But I say all that to say, for mine, something kept trying to come up obsessively, so I had to basically just imagine whatever it was in between the middle of this fire and just kind of burn it away as a form of transmutation or whatever. I was like, nope, you're not going to get the best of me. That was just God just testing me too, because it's like he was just allowing it to constantly keep coming up in my train of thought. I was like, no, why? But anyway, so it got to the point I had to have a different perspective on things and change my mindset in order to get different results. Okay, so the landscaping wants you to know, the diligence card. There are times in life to step forward and take risks, but there are other times to be patient. Step carefully and slowly and know that the benefits you will gain in the future will be worth it. Be attentive, maliciously and persistently. Use the time to plan for steps in the future. Be diligent and consistent at each step as you move forward. By doing so, you will harvest remarkable results in in the years ahead. This is not the time for instant gratification. Your diligence will pay off in the future tenfold. This is the time for deliberate organization, clean house, clear clutter out of your life. Be thoughtful about how you spend your time and be discerning when choosing with whom you spend it with. I think some of you guys need to hear this. Let me say this again. This is the time for deliberate organization, cleaning house, clearing clutter out of your life, people and things that do not serve you, and be discerning when choosing with whom you spend your time. Clear out relationships that do not support you. And I'm going to say, I was just about to say that part, like, being mindful of who you giving your energy away to. Are these people worth your time and your energy? Because I know certain conversations, I have to basically kind of, if I feel like they're going left or whatever, if I feel like they're going right, I quickly just, okay, let me just walk away right now. Like, in other words, kind of shutting it down, especially if somebody is like in the form of coming in the form of like gossiping about somebody else or whatever the case may be. That doesn't happen too much because I'm not around, I'm not around people anyway, but I'm just saying, I'm not around people like that, should I say. But, yeah. Because I know sometimes family has a habit of kind of like just telling other people's business or whatever the case may be. And the last 3 years, I've been telling them, let people tell their own stories, rather than, you telling it for them. So that's what I mean. So I cut a conversation off like really quick like that if I feel like it's kind of going to the form of like gossiping or whatever. But anyway, but I say all that to say, so yeah. And what I'm hearing too, Spirit say that some of you guys haven't received that relationship that you want, or, whatever it is that you're looking for, hoping for, because, you haven't crossed T's and you haven't dotted I's yet. So in other words, you can't have old people sticking around and wanting new people to come into your life. The two cannot work that way. I told you guys before, I was in a process on this journey, in a process of restarting my in-home childcare business, because this would have been the second time, actually the third time that I have done this. When I first moved here, and then again right before I started this journey, right before I knew I was on this journey, and the guy was like, nope, you got to close the doors, because we're not no longer doing that anymore. And I say all that to say, God spoke to my spirit one day, and he told me, he was like, I can't bless you until you remove all that stuff out of there that was the old you. And when I tell you, like, this was some expensive toys, if any of you guys know what Lakeshore Learning Store is, their stuff is not cheap. I had boatloads of childcare stuff, that I had. I'm a post it one day. I think I still have the picture. I'm gonna post it one day so you can see it, like how I had it set up, and I had boatload of toys, puzzles, everything, just a lot of learning things or whatever the case may be. And I was so pissed because I had spent a lot of money on that stuff and I needed to get rid of it. So everything I did, home inspection, all that other stuff, you do this, do that, zoning, all that other stuff. It's like, this time around, it was totally different from the other two times that I did it, whatever the case may be. But I say all that to say, some things usually happen in threes. But anyway, so I say all that to say, but God told me that he could not bless me and he could not bring the new in until I got rid of the old. So at that point in time, I had to contact other childcare providers within the area. And I would say, hey, I'm going out of business and all this other stuff. And I had to basically sell off the stuff that I had purchased or whatever. So that I could, herp and get it out of here, because I was just like trying to get it out. Some stuff I had even given away to certain people who I felt like was worthy of giving it away to. But a lot of stuff I actually sold, and I was able to kind of get my money back or whatever the case may be. It wasn't the full money, but it was something was better than nothing. So I say all that to say, I had to clean out every clutter, everything that even represents childcare. The only one thing that I kept was like this little easel board, and I kind of leave it like right there at my front door to just let people know, when you come in my house, basically you don't come in here with no SHIT. We coming up in here with positive vibes only, period. Okay, so that's just my little story in case some of you guys wanted to know. But yeah, I cleaned the house from top to bottom. Whatever was not serving me, stuff that people gave me over the years, you know, and I felt like those people weren't honoring me. They weren't respecting me. Why keep what it is that they gave me? Because I feel like it's just a gift of deceit. You know, you're giving me something, but you didn't really mean it because you didn't treat me, you know, with the respect that I deserve. So I tossed it out, got rid of it, and gave it to Goodwill. And whatever that did not belong to me and it belonged to somebody else in here, I politely gave it back to them as well too. So I really cleaned house. And on this journey, you have to. But anyway, let's get into the happiness card real quick, because this is the outcome of it. Happiness. The sacred landscape wants you to know. So you click your heels and shout for joy. The signs are with you. Let your light shine. Abound. Good luck awaits you. A getaway is opening for even more joy and happiness. Your life is expanding. Opportunities are emerging. This is the time to go forward with glee. Love deeply and fully embrace life with open arms. Goodness is flowing to you. The only thing to be aware of is to monitor your expansion in metered way. Too much, too fast can be overwhelming. And boom, there it is. So slow and steady wins the race, as I always say with like the little turtle or whatever the case may be. But anyway, let me move on really quick. Hopefully. Actually, let me do this one real quick. I was drawing the beast cards because this morning on our walk, we went to walk the trails and I saw a fox. Running in the woods, and that just lets me know, watch out for that slickster energy. And we saw a fox, and what else was it that we saw? Oh, and then I think a dragonfly. His daughter said dragonfly was riding on my hair. I love dragonflies. They're so cool when they look at you up, when you can see them up close. It's almost like they mirror back to you exactly what you're doing. One year when my daughter was going off to college, one was sitting on the back of my antenna after we just got finished packing the car up. And he was just sitting there, and I went up to him like this. Don't look at my gray hairs, y'all. It's all good. I embrace it. But anyway, so I went up to it like this, and I was looking at it, and he was turning its head up at me and looking at me like this. He was doing everything, or it was doing every single thing that I was doing. I thought that was so cool. From that point on, I was like, oh my God, like I really like dragonflies. They're really cool. But after I pull a card real quick, I'll try to pull the fox card just so you know what it's talking about, as well as the dragonfly card, because obviously it's a message that somebody needs to hear. All right, Spirit, what message do you have that is a pure white light and pure unconditional love only that you want the collective to know? Thank you. Elephant. Elephant. Greatness. Love is your strength. Talked about love again. Leadership is your path. Your wisdom inspires everyone you meet. You can overcome any problem. You will naturally and easily achieve success. Boom. Oh, and the dragonfly's right there. Hold on, y'all. Let me pull this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do the lizard too, because I saw a lizard yesterday as I went to get in the car. Where's the fox? Where's the fox? Where's the fox? No, I ain't tripping. Oh, fox. Thank you. Must have went past it. So we read the elephant. And the fox I saw this morning, fox is clever animal. Remember, it's a good and the kind of like a good and a bad side, like to, not gonna say bad, but there's, you know, just like we all have like a good and a bad side, like the yin and the yang in all of us. But anyway, the fox is clever. You are swift and smart. Solutions to problems are easily found. Always listen to your instincts. Resources surround you. Be open to romance. Boom. But remember, fox can also not only talk about being clever, but when they be on their slickster, you know, side too, you know, remember that too. Everybody's situation is going to be different. Anyway, the lizard represents regeneration. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak, excuse me. You are a master of regeneration. So for those, you need to hear that. And the dragonfly, the lizard was yesterday. Today was the dragonfly and the fox. Dragonfly is magic. I embrace my transformation. I just said that in this deck. I thought the transformation, the butterfly card kept popping up in my train of thought. But anyway, transformation. I embrace my transformation. I courageously let go of the past. The magic of nature is in me. I am brilliant and I am blessed. Remember that, y'all. So once you can move out of the mindset of just holding on to the past, you know, and just, again, it's a matter of just changing your perception and change your thought on things. But again, when you're ready. And this is the last deck. Spirit, what message do you have for the collective? What do you want them to know? What message do you have for the collective that is a pure white light and pure condition love only, that is for their highest and greatest good? What message do you have for the collective? What message do you have for the collective? I feel like that card is sticking out. I'll take that one. Some of you may not like this card, but sometimes if you can see something and see how you look spiritually, maybe it's something to help you get out of the mindset. Thank you, Spirit. So, brace yourself. This is what you look like when you don't heal your stuff. Holes in the soul. And what this card represents is you've given yourself away to so many different people. People who weren't worth your time, people who weren't worth your energy. And every time you do that, it's like they're taking pieces away from your soul. And then you're not a whole person in a sense. So yeah, that's why it's so important to not waste your energy or your time on people who are not, I'm not going to say on the same frequency, but people who aren't worth your time and your energy, because they're energy vampires is what I'm hearing. They can drain you of your energy for their own personal gains and leave you with holes in your soul. Imagine that. So take a real good look at that card, because that's what that looks like every time we give our energy away to people who are not deserving of it. The other card is love. And the other one is temptation. And one thing I've learned, because I know I've learned this for myself, like when I realized that I had given away lost pieces, I was having to retrieve those lost pieces of my soul, because I had given myself prior to this journey to so many different people, like helping people, doing this, doing that, being there for people, but people weren't being there for me. So in other words, it's almost like I exhausted myself. And when I really got this deck of cards, some time ago, I really looked at this card and I was like, wow, that's what I look like when I was giving myself away to just any and everybody, trying to help people who didn't deserve my time or attention, giving people, giving people, like, whether it be, it's almost like giving people business advice in a sense. And it's like people didn't even appreciate, really appreciate. They appreciate it because you gave them information, but they didn't really appreciate it because it came from you. So it's almost like, how can I say it? They appreciated the information because they benefited from it. But they didn't really appreciate you because it wasn't like, oh, well, thank you. I appreciate you helping me, giving me that information that helped, it really propelled me forward, or really helped me to be successful, or really helped me to, do this or do that. So they didn't, and I did that a lot for people, when I say I did it a lot, I did it a lot. It was to the point that I almost like helped build other people up while I was almost like, what's the word? I don't want to say down, but I was helping to build other people up, but yet I was still standing still. So in other words, people were going on to be successful. It was like they was using me as like but then I can't specifically say that they was in some way, somewhat consciously using me. And then there was some who was unconsciously using me, should I say. But I have to take responsibility too, because there was that piece of me too that allowed myself. And I give you an example. Like my spouse, on the other hand, I would take care of the house and take care of the kids and take them to their activities and do this and do that so that he could focus on his career. And at the time I was working, but I was just working like part-time. So I figured, well, let me do this and let me do that, as what, as a wife thinks that, they should do. But what I realized, if I had the power to go back and rewind and do that all over again, I wouldn't have done it. Because the truth of the matter is, when I got to the point of becoming, when I got to the point when I was in need, no one was there for me. Not the spouse, not family. The only two people that was there for me were my kids, pretty much. The kids, pretty much. So I say all that to say, it's almost like I help give people a boost in their careers or in some sort of way, and I didn't benefit from it at all. So now I learned to stop doing that. I no longer do that. And I only give to people who are investing in me. So in other words, if people are helping me or investing in me, by all means, because it says like attracts like. Other than that, I don't want somebody coming into my life just to say, oh, we'll see what they can get, or, oh, hey, let me get some information for her, let me wipe my feet on her and then keep her moving. No, we ain't doing that no more. I've learned my lesson, so no longer, but anyway, like I said, it took me to see this card and I was like, wow, that's what I was doing. I was, and I had to go back and try to retrieve lost pieces of my soul from each and every one of these individuals that I had gave my time, my attention, and my energy to, and they weren't even worth it. But anyway, so this next one is, oh, we didn't even read that one first. Okay. So, okay, so one way your childhood wounds disrupts in external life is through low-grade depression experiences as a perpetual empty feeling. If as a child you try to make everything all right by picking up the pieces of your family drama, then you adopted a false self. When you lost your authentic self, you disconnected from your true feelings, needs, and desires. Instead, you wear a mask to make others feel more comfortable. And that's exactly what I did. And I didn't know I was doing it. I wasn't doing it intentionally. It was just who I was. And, people just benefited from that. And they just took advantage of that, on top of the fact that I allowed it to happen too. Because I have to claim my part in it as well too. Being detached leads to profound loneliness and isolation, as you are always mourning your true self. This card encourages you to discover your true self through learning about your childhood and mourning the abandonment and neglect you felt. So, anywho, And now we're going to go on to the love card. Real quick. Love. Your heart desires more connections, love, and nourishment. You are at a point in your life where you need to learn how to truly give and receive love. Fully opening your heart will awaken your vulnerability, sensitivity, and your fear, and particularly your fear of rejection and intimacy with another person. However, you will also unleash your passion, inspiration, and greatness, and an ability to care deeply. Start seeing how great life is and be willing to connect to others. If you have been holding on to the past pain, then it is time to acknowledge, feel, and move forward. Give yourself permission to let people in. Ask for love with all your heart and soul, and it will come. Look for something beautiful in every person you encounter. Focus on feeling good whenever you see people loving each other, and know this is coming to you in a form of love or of a lifetime or an incredible friendship. Oh shit. Please hold on y'all. Okay, this battery is becoming a little low. I'm sorry. So hopefully y'all heard that. But anyway, so if you didn't hear that last part, let me hurry up because this battery's low. For something beautiful in every person, encounter, focus, and feeling good whenever you see people loving each other, and know that this is coming to you in a form of love, of lifetime, or an incredible friendship. So remember that. Friendship or love relationship, or it could even be a business partnership. So remember that too. But what I wanted to tell you too, and Spirit is bringing this to my attention, because actually me and my daughter was actually watching Love Jones. So you guys should watch that movie. Just kind of help break up some of the ice around your heart. And then, when you go out here, you start looking at other people, and so on and so on and so on and so on. But anyway, because that came to my train of thought yesterday, I think it was. But anyway, so that was the opportunity for me to say it. But anyway, watch the movie Love Jones, y'all. My daughter had never seen it, so I told her that was my ultimate love story. Excuse me, I'm saying that wrong. That was my favorite love. Oh my God, that was my favorite love story. That was my favorite movie that was a love story. Should I say? I'm saying that all wrong. Oh my God. Anyway, so temptation. Your need to prove that you are worthy and important is clouded your true purpose and tempting you to make wrong decisions. Becoming aware of what is happening in your life right now. Are you feeling bored in a relationship and looking for something outside of your partnership instead of being honest and working on the challenges you are experiencing or moving on? Let me read that again, because I think some of y'all need to hear that. Your need to prove that you are worthy and important is clouding your true purpose and tempting you to make wrong decisions. Become aware of what is happening in your life right now. Are you feeling bored in a relationship and looking for something outside of your partnership instead of being honest and working on your challenges you are experiencing or moving on? Is there a work opportunity that is tempting you to act without integrity in order to get ahead? Are you using money as an excuse not to follow your heart? This card asks you to focus on bigger pictures, be honest with yourself, and take the high path. Another opportunity that is much grander than what you have imagined is on its way. Just be open to it and allow it in your life. So guys, if you just allow and go with the flow, as I said before, that will help you. But I don't think I told you guys the other day, but I think I told you in regards to, I was talking about a family member, and we was talking about nurturing a child. And I told you there was 2 incidents where I was finding myself having to help nurture a child that I was trying to get from a situation that I was trying to, that I was trying to get custody of a child in a family. What I didn't tell you was this family member was fighting me so hard. And this is just the outcome. This, and I feel like Spirit is leading me to tell you this, because I forgot to tell you that the other day in the video. This family member fought me so hard. Now, I pray for this family member now. I really do, because they're in a really not good place, should I say. But I say all that to say, this family member fought me so hard. When you keep your integrity and you have morals, value, and your intentions are pure of why you doing what you're doing, then God is going to favor you. But, when your intentions are wrong, I hate to say it, but there's like consequences to pay for that. You reap what you sow, in other words. So if you guys find yourself, overworking yourself, doing this, doing that, and constantly just chasing after money. I'm not saying we don't need money to live, but when you trust God and you seek God first, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying that you sit on your butt and you wait and you let God do everything for you, because God say when you make a step, he'll make 2 more steps. But when you're on the right path, thank you, Spirit, when you're on the right path doing what it is that God wants you to do, then all those things are going to work out for you. But when you find yourself, trying to do this, trying to do that, just trying to keep your status quo going, or living life like you got it going on, living like you're living large, and so on and so on. Those things have a habit of catching up with people. And what I forgot to tell you guys the other day was this family member that tried to fight me so hard on the custody issue when I said, Georgia, yes, and I know it's not just Georgia, because I know there's other states, and it could be very well, even where we're at now, just how some of these people operate, in these child custody cases, should I say. But I say all that to say that the individual fought me so hard, and they knew that their intentions weren't pure and they weren't right. And I knew that they weren't, because like I said, there were other family members in this person's ear was telling them, oh, well, you can get money and blah, blah, blah. So the individual ended up getting money to the point that the person who had gotten their child taken away or whatever, basically had to end up paying this individual child support. So at that point in time, it became a money game, rather than it being like, well, this is your family, shouldn't you just be doing it because, you love? Now, I granted, if you can't afford, that's something different, and you need a little bit of supplement to help out. But, if you're doing it just for the gain, the extra gain, because need I remind you, this individual had actually stepped up their game, went and got a new truck, should I say, and, just made it seem like that they had it going on, and so on and so on. But I say all that to say that even the person that they was with at that time, they're no longer with that person. So they end up finding themselves being lonely. And I hate to say it, but I don't know who needs to hear this, but obviously I'm bringing this up for a reason. But it crossed my mind. I didn't finish that conversation with you guys the other day, but the individual family member, and, may God bless his soul, he actually ended up in a military, what do you call it? A healthcare facility, in other words. It's kind of almost like, like where vets go, when they get hurt, injured, and so on, where they need assistant care, like assistant living or whatever the case may be. So I say all that to say, you have to be mindful of how you treat people, because that stuff does come back on you. And at some point in time, we do have to get older in age, and so I say all that to say, again, I don't know who needs to hear that message, but that message is for someone. So again, just be mindful of how you treat people, and be mindful who you give your attention, your time, and your energy to, because some people are out there to just try to drain you, keep you off your path, keep you stuck, and just keeping you from everything but what God wants you to have. And what he wants you to have is such a beautiful thing. But anyway, I hope that information was helpful for you guys. So I wish you all much love, much light, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Until the next prophetic message, I say peace and blessings. Bye.